Hi, I'm here at Halfwood Press here in Queen Anne with artist Bill Ritchie, who builds and created the Halfwood presses. And he has just finished building a Halfwood press that I've purchased for a friend of mine for his 50th birthday. And this is Halfwood Mini Press number 55. And this is Bill Ritchie. So hi, Bill.
Hi, welcome to Halfwood Press Workshop.
Thank you. This is really cool. I just had to show you all how beautiful this little Halfwood Mini Press is. It's just gorgeous. This is all hand built and with brass and black walnut, I believe.
That's right.
And this one has a special touch that Bill put in for me. It has a little clock, which I just think is really wonderful. So anyway, this is Halfwood Press Mini at Bill Ritchie's studio in Queen Anne.
Okay, we're going to test Mini Halfwood Press number 55, and I make a test plate for each press that I make, and there's a little 55 there in the middle. It's my design, and when we're all done, this test plate and the print that we make will go with the press. First, to get started, I have to mix up the ink. Today I'm using Daniel Smith Vine Black etching for my ink, and I'm going to add a little bit of the Daniel Smith Miracle Gel Reducer. Other times I'll use the Daniel Smith Burnt Plate Oil to modify the ink and make it a little softer. Plus, I have this little hot plate, which is actually an iron turned upside down in a box, and I'll use that to make the ink softer, easier to wipe. Also, before I started today, I prepared a little bit of paper. It's a Fabriano paper, an Italian paper, a general purpose watercolor printmaking, and I ran the paper under tap water for just a moment and put it in a sandwich bag so it's ready for me to print. The paper has to be soft. It doesn't take very much ink. Now I put the plate on the hot plate so the plate is getting hot, but you don't want to overheat the plate. This is a softer rubber squeegee, which is safer. This will push the ink down into the intaglio, the etched lines, and then you start the wiping process. That's done with the tarlatan. Tarlatan is like starched cheesecloth. The tarlatan just wipes off the surfaces, the high smooth parts of the plate, and leaves the ink in the etched lines and textures. After I've wiped it a while with the tarlatan, then I go to the paper wipe. The paper wipe takes off a little more ink, but it leaves a light tone on the plate. That's called plate tone, because this is an oil-based ink. Okay, I'm ready to do the hand wipe now, which is the final stages. Now my hands are probably kind of sweaty from those rubber gloves, so I need to put out a little bit of talcum powder. This is actually baby powder. Now if your hand is perfectly dry, you then do this real light wiping process. There's still a very light tone of ink on the plate, as you'll see in the finished proof. Now we're ready to print. This is number 55 of the Mini Halfwood presses. Every press comes with a box, and in the box is the set of felt blankets. This is a sheet of paper that explains the blankets. I might as well show you what else is in the box. Some extra little pads, test plate, as I said. There's a little book that is called the Pressmaker's Notes, which describes what's unique about this particular press. And this press has a clock in it, as a matter of fact, and so here are instructions for the clock. And a user's manual, and a postcard, an Allen wrench, another postcard, and my business card. That's what's in the box. And also the certificate of authenticity. So I need to load the press with the felt blankets. First thing I do is I roll the pressure screws all the way down to the bed so that I can start gauging the pressure. And then I count back. Now there are two ways. One is two ways to tell how much pressure there is. One is by half turns, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half turns. The other way is by looking at this little gauge that's on the side. I call that the roller ruler. Now when the roller is slightly up, I can try to see if I can get the blankets to go under, and I can. And then I tighten it back down for the pressure I need to print. That will probably do. Fold the blankets back and get my paper. The paper's been soaking for a couple of hours now inside this sandwich bag. This is a very small plate. This is the 2.5 by 3.5 inch regulation artist trading card size, I call it. But the press will print up to 5 by 7 inches without a problem. The paper seems fine. It's not glistening wet. It's just nice and soft. Before I print plates, I often warm them just a little bit. Again, the reasoning is that since it's an oil-based ink, the ink will be a little softer for printing. But you don't want to warm it too much. If you warmed it too much, not only would it be hard to handle, you might also bake the ink into the plate. The plate goes on the bed. A little talcum powder always helps if you've got ink on your hands. You don't want to have ink on the paper. And roll it through. A little too tight. Still too tight. Just right. Now I'm going to turn the press around for the benefit of the video. Pull the proof. So actually that completes the test of number 55. I will print another one for my own, but as I said before, this goes in an envelope. I'll clean the plate, put it in an envelope, and it goes with the press. One minor detail I might point out is that when the press is moving, I put a little sticky pad under it. This is that sticky pad that you can buy in a drugstore or grocery store for kitchen use usually, and it helps keep the press from moving around when you're printing. Without the sticky pad, since the press only weighs 12 pounds, it's a little sometimes unnerving if it actually moves when you're trying to crank it through. So I advise putting a sticky pad under it if that bothers you. So I'm Bill Ritchie, and I thank you for watching.